So, a cancer diagnosis tends to trigger a whole new set of questions that you've never asked yourself before, and you've never been in a position of trying to figure out what to do with this diagnosis. Most people end up in a situation where they know they can do this, they know they can heal, they know they can come out on the other side of health, but they just don't know where to start. Or there's so many things that you could possibly be doing, that you could potentially be engaged with, but you don't know what to focus on because there's so many different options available to you. You know that you need to do something, but you're afraid to do anything. Cancer recovery does not have to be so stressful. I've developed a blueprint that allows you to find clarity in plugging in the key strategies and actions that create organization and structure to your daily to-do plan so that you can get the most out of your cancer recovery plan, and you're able to live your beautifully full life in purpose at the same time. So I've taught this technique to over hundreds of cancer heroes. And I say heroes, I don't refer to anybody with a cancer diagnosis as a patient. Nobody wants to be referred to as a patient, really. It sounds sickly, it sounds like a hospital situation. And we're trying to recreate this paradigm, this healing paradigm of cancer. So we call ourselves cancer heroes. But let me be clear, there are categories or tasks that must be handled regularly and consistently if you're going to have the most effective action plan in healing from cancer. All tasks that you're going to do are important, and I've made sure that where you're putting your time, your effort, and your energy happens to be on high value items. So, okay, you've got your basic needs for recovery, your nutrition, your exercise is your functional movement, your emotions, your detoxification modalities, dealing with stress, sleep, supplementation. All of this can be overwhelming. That's a lot. Just thinking of where to purchase your supplements can be overwhelming, especially when this is so new to you. A cancer diagnosis is most likely the first experience you're having intimately with this label that you have with this disease. This program, this cancer recovery technique, is designed for somebody brand new to this diagnosis. It's designed for somebody who knows that you have to do something different than has traditionally been set in front of somebody with this diagnosis. So when this is something that's so new to you, we still have to remember what our purpose in life is. We still have to make sure that the treatments that we're doing, the therapies that we're engaging in, are in alignment with our values and everything that we believe in. Otherwise, it's just not going to work. Your nutrition, for instance, there are so many different labels, there's so many different trends or fads that you could participate in. We've got keto, paleo, plant-based, vegan, raw, vegan, vegetarian, and then add to that whole foods, juicing, all of these different terms that can just be so confusing and so overwhelming when you're trying to learn everything all at once, can kind of just take over, and you will get lost in trying to figure out what all of it means. Does it apply to you? So that's a huge topic that we address. Which one could potentially apply to you? And here's a little secret: none of them. None of those that I mentioned are one that is going to apply to you. But all areas of these categories actually influence your endocannabinoid system function. So even more so important to pay attention to them when building your plan, your recovery plan, because it impacts your endocannabinoid system. These categories that I mentioned, the nutrition, the emotions, the exercise, the detox, the stress, the sleep, the supplements, these categories get the most attention because they seem to have the most options. So detoxification, I'm sure you've heard of cleansing the liver, doing a colon cleanse, a gallbladder flush. There's so many different techniques. How do you know what applies to you? There's so many different opinions. There's so many different suggestions or controversy out there that you need somebody to guide you. Otherwise, you're going to get lost in just the research part of it alone. These are areas that have the biggest impact on your endocannabinoid health as well, resulting in the biggest return on your investment. When we can support the endocannabinoid system naturally so that it's able to function efficiently and effectively, you can make the most out of your recovery plan. We just can't leave the system out. It needs to be part of your cancer recovery technique. So these areas also have the reputation of causing so much hang up, because just when you think you have it all figured out, you're going to hear of another way, a better way. And you're going to wonder if you should give it a go or if you should try it or indulge. And usually what I hear from clients or cancer heroes is there's so much to do. There's so much to learn. There's so many options. I feel so uncomfortable engaging in any of it. I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. I don't know who to listen to. I don't know what is right for me. So now in the cancer recovery technique, we can laser focus your time on the actions that will yield you the greatest results. Successful and unstressful cancer recovery CEOs, and by cancer recovery CEO, I mean somebody who is taking responsibility and massive action for their health. A CEO cares what happens to his or her company. A CEO is involved in the day-to-day operations. They know what's going on, and they trust those that they bring into their team to be part of this company, of this practice that they're running. A cancer recovery CEO is the same thing. You need to be fully aware and engaged in every operation that's happening. You need to know who you trust and what you're doing. So too often people with cancer diagnosis find themselves stuck in the Bermuda Triangle of just searching of where to spend most of their time. They will commit to a program. That's not a problem. They'll take action once they have decided on the program that they're going to do. But then what tends to happen is somewhere down the line, and it doesn't even have to be far down the line. It could be 2 weeks in, 2 months in, but at some point when you don't have somebody guiding you or coaching you or helping you sort through all of that information, you tend to start shifting in certain areas, perhaps before you've even given these techniques a chance to work, because you don't know if it's working. You don't know how long to give it. You start changing and trying new things, trying other things. You start buying other programs, books, seminars, webinars, summits, and listening to all of these different opinions, which are probably very worthwhile, but are they applicable to you? Who's sorting through these with you? And then at some point, you're going to start debating on these opinions of these other people, and then you're going to find yourself diving right back down that rabbit hole of research. And then we take this Bermuda Triangle, and instead of creeping up, we start to go back down, and then the bulk at the bottom of the triangle ends up being where all of our time is spent doing research and trying to figure things out. Whereas in the cancer recovery technique, we flip that triangle around and we start with sorting through the research, looking through the opinions and the advice and the guidance of others, finding what's most applicable to you. And then we start integrating, then we start taking massive action, then we start applying and building this blueprint according to you. Not the person that developed it, not the person that it worked for in their cancer recovery, but you specifically. Here's the thing. There's always going to be distractions pulling your mind astray. A new webinar, another protocol, good intentions from family and friends with ideas galore. We're never going to run out of that. Our minds are going to start to feel cluttered. They're going to feel chaotic, and the overwhelm can be paralyzing, but not in the cancer recovery technique. When you feel chaos and cluttered, you just can't think and you can't do clearly. You can't do anything thoughtfully. Then our efforts seem to haphazardly happen. Actually, when your mind has the impression that there are hundreds of things or to-dos you could be trying or doing, it actually decreases your energy. You lose focus and you're going to slow down and you're going to start to procrastinate, and then you think, I just can't do this. At this point, you're running on empty. Your goal to free up time for living in the and isn't going to happen. So, to end the nagging to-dos, I'm going to walk you through your mind dump to clear space and to make room for you to be you. What I'd like to do for you is, it's actually a 2-step mind dump practice. It must be handwritten. You're going to set a timer and it's going to be for 15 minutes.